Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first meeting from 2026. I hereby call to order the January 9th, 2026 public hearing of the City of Prescott Preservation Commission. Members present: Rick Kimmy,
Present.
James McCarver, Rob Johnson, Mike King, Diane Travis, and myself, Rick Spring, the chair. Alex Brimlett, planning manager. Tammy's not here. Jacob Lund, assistant planner. Susanna Bond, a recording secretary. And that's about it. This is an open hearing and is being recorded by the city. The proceedings are being televised by representatives of the public media, local cable, and/or radio stations, and may be rebroadcast. The number of commissioners present is 6. And we require a majority vote to pass a motion. All parties wishing to be heard will be expected to state their name for the record, speak loudly and close to the microphone on the podium there, and please, everybody, turn your electronic devices off or down. Thank you. Next up is approve the minutes for the November 14, 2025 meeting. Does anybody have any comments? Or a motion?
Mr. Chair, Diane Travis, I move to approve the November 14th, 2025 Preservation Commission meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, Mike King, I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. It takes us to B, HP 25009, and Jacob.
All right. Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. My name is Jacob Lund, Assistant Planner for the City of Prescott. Today, I will be presenting HP 25-009. This is for a new detached garage and workshop located at 230 South Mount Vernon Avenue. A little information on the historic district. So this is located in the Southeast Prescott Local Historic Preservation District. Most comparable with the historic master plan for the East Prescott district. The Southeast Prescott doesn't have a chapter of its own currently, so it is included in the East Prescott district. That was approved by Ordinance 3433 and adopted in 1995. This is also located in the East Prescott National Historic District, but the property is a non-contributor and it's no longer listed on the National Register of Historic Places due to some substantial changes to the siding material of the primary residence. So the applicant is proposing to construct a detached garage with a workshop. The square footage for the garage is approximately 602 square feet, with the workshop being 304 square feet. It will all be one building. It won't be two separate buildings. The roof's going to be constructed as a gable-on-hip form with architectural grade shingles, which will match the existing roof pitch on the primary residence and the existing roofing material for the primary residence. They are proposing 2 sliding windows, one on the north and south facades of the garage. You won't be able to see them from the front view facing from South Mount Vernon or the alley in the rear. There will be one roll-up garage door that faces west towards the alley, and the siding will match the existing lap siding from the primary residence, which was approved within a addition, remodel, and guest house that was approved in 2014 by the Preservation Commission. These are some photos. The first one shows what the house looked like before the remodel that was approved in 2014. As you can see, the siding has significantly changed. The fence was also removed, so that fence is no longer there. The second photo shows the property as it sits today if you were facing from South Mount Vernon Avenue. These are some additional photos. So the first one is the street view from South Mount Vernon. The second one shows you the guest house that was approved in the rear of the property along the alley. And then This photo here shows, I believe this was the addition that was part of the 2014 approval. And then back here is actually where you'll see the front facade of the garage from Mount Vernon. And then the last photo just shows the location from the alley view if you were on the rear of the property. I included these just because I think it gives a good reference as to materials they're going to be using, since they will be matching the siding of the existing residence and the roofing material and roof pitch. This is a site plan provided by the applicant. It does show the existing residence, the existing guest house in the rear, and the proposed garage and workshop location. This is located in a SF9 zoning district where the setbacks are 25-foot front and rear, 7 feet on the sides. With detached garages, the rear setback can be reduced per the Land Development Code to 4 feet, except when the garage door opens towards the alley. Then it has to be a minimum of 6 feet, which they do show here. The rear setback to the garage door will be 6 feet. So this does meet all of our Land Development Code for setback purposes. These are some elevations provided by the applicant. So the first one is the front elevation, which you would see from Mount Vernon Avenue. The bottom one is the left elevation if you were facing north on the property. There are notes on these elevations that show the maximum height at 14 feet 11 inches, siding to match the existing residence, same with the trim material, and the roofing pitch will also match the existing primary residence. These are additional elevations, so this will be the rear, what you'll see from the alleyway. And then this would be the right elevation if you're facing south. Again, the right and left elevations won't be visible from street view. For compatibility review, staff did review this with the Prescott Preservation Master Plan for the East Historic District. These were the guidelines that we reviewed it against. It does meet all of these guidelines, except for the encouragement of double hung windows. They're proposing sliding windows and they're horizontally oriented. Additionally, staff did send this out to a third-party review, Courtney Mooney with Broadbent and Associates. There's a full analysis from her in your agenda packet. But the project was reviewed against city ordinances, Secretary of the Interior standards, and the National Park Service's guidelines for new construction. It was determined that the project meets all ordinance guidelines except for the proposed windows, and it's in compliance with Standard 9 and 10 of the Secretary of the Interior standards. So this was determined to be subordinate and compatible with the historic district, and it will not negatively impact the integrity of the historic district. That brings us to our recommended action. Staff recommends to move to approve or deny HP 25-009 for construction of a new detached garage and workshop. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions, and the applicant's here if you'd like to hear anything from them as well.
Any questions from the commission?
I apologize for my voice. I'm recovering from laryngitis. Jim McCarver. Just had a couple questions for the builder. On the plan,
Get the builder to come up, please.
it was indicated that the air conditioning unit was going to be relocated. Where is that going to be relocated to?
My name's Aaron Raisley. I'm the draftsman. Honestly, that's to be determined. Until we talk to the mechanical people, we don't know. We want it to be still in a good location, but I think I've got to be determined on my site plan. If you can pull that up, please.
You're not going to put it on the east side of the shop or anything where it could be seen from the street?
No, I'm not sure. I'd still like to keep it within location, within that general location. But again, until we talk to the mechanical people, we haven't gotten that far yet. We haven't dove into the plans that far because we want to get approval on this first before we proceed.
One of the requirements for the overhang for the roof is 12 to 24 inches. How long is that? What's the overhang on the roof?
Right now, the existing house has 12 inches, and I believe the guest house is the same, so that's what we want to tie in and have everything match as well.
Reviewing what it was done before with, there was approval for a wood picket fence across the front, and it never was completed. Any plans for that in the future?
I don't believe so. This is, my client is the new owner of the property, so that may have been the previous owner.
I think it probably was, yeah. No awnings on the door or any of the windows or doors?
Awnings, no, not that I'm aware of. We haven't discussed awnings. No, sir.
Skylights?
Skylights, no, sir. None.
And then I have some concerns about the horizontal windows. The plans, the East Prescott Historic District Master Plan talks about they recommend vertically oriented windows. And Broadbent did mention that, but they sort of glossed over the fact that they just sort of glossed over it. And they felt the comment was, since it's north and south facing, that it's not going to be seen from the street, and so no big deal. My feeling is that when you buy a house in a historic district, you're buying into the master plans that are published also. And should stick with that. I would recommend vertically oriented windows.
So, two comments on that. One, because that is the shop area, so we've got a bunch of tools, he's got his equipment, and that's why we wanted the higher windows, also possibly workbenches. Number two, the house directly to the north of my client has the exact same high windows, and then two houses to the south has high windows, and they're both on the sides, not the front. And I gave those pictures to Jake, so for whatever that's worth. I'm hoping that helps the cause, basically, because they've got it. Two houses, right next door.
In my opinion, they should be playing by the same rules, but I didn't approve their construction.
I get that.
Well, my name is, you can still stay there. Thank you very much. My name is Michael King. I'm just a member here. I'll go to the first concern I had. I didn't know. I've been at the site 2 times. Yesterday I walked the alley. I stood on the on the cement pad there. That's about the size of the garage, is it not? The existing cement pad.
Jake, can you pull up the site plan, please? If you take a look at the site plan, there's an existing, Jake, is there any way you can window in on that? On that garage pad area?
I can't zoom. This is about
You
as
can't
good
zoom?
as it gets.
So there's an existing vertical wall, did you see? So if you look, the garage on the site plan, the garage extends about 4.5, 5 feet beyond that, and then the shop beyond that. I also wanted to point out, Jake, I've got the dimension of we're roughly 125 feet from the street to the front of the shop wall, distance-wise, so I'm hoping that helps.
Well, thank you. I just standing there, and I didn't do 100% staff work on that. That 6 foot is going to push the garage forward, so you'd have to move the slab a little closer.
Correct.
Yeah, that's all. I'm just trying to understand. I don't have a concern about it. It's just a matter of that the slab that's there, the bottom right, will extend about 3 or 4 feet up, and then you'll
Yeah, it's about 5 feet, give or
okay,
take.
thank you. Okay, thank you for that. Going back to the windows, if that's a concern, like I say, I was on the site, walked up and down the alley. I saw the same things you see. The windows, for the most part, 90% of the windows, if not more, are horizontal. And various, some of them are garages, some of them are even the guest home there. The window on the back is pretty much the same as what you have on your garage there as well.
Thank you for knowing.
Secondly is the two homes Well, this garage will occupy pretty much the site between the guest house and the property to the
To the north.
north, right?
Correct.
And there's an existing building there, and there's also a fence there.
Correct.
On both sides of this property, you can't hardly see the windows. You have to really look hard to see the windows from any position on the alley or in the adjacent properties.
There's
You
also-
can't.
I'm sorry to interject. There's also all those existing trees and shrubs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
fence.
can't see it. The buildings, shrubs, the fences, the other existing buildings. So the visual intrusion does not exist. And when you do this kind of analysis from street view, that is what we are to protect, the streetscape. You can't see the windows from the street. You mentioned the distance, but you just can't see those sides from the street.
Correct.
So the building, the whole property itself is non-conforming. So, and I would like to hear from the city as to the acceptability. Yes, my colleague here says recommended. The word is emphasize those kinds of windows. And again, that's in the ordinance. I've got a copy of the ordinance right here and the guidelines. So it's not mandatory. Emphasize windows that are, if that building stood out that everybody could see it, fine from the street, but they can't. They can't see the windows. That's not what do you say? It's not a nonconformance, so to speak, with historical guidelines for streetscape views for property protection and visuals. I would like to have Ms. Alex to address the city's position on this. It's in the staff report that we accept the windows the way they are, and we would approve them.
Yeah, I mean, from a city standpoint, we don't have an issue with the windows, especially like you mentioned, it is a non-contributing property to the district. But that's what we're here to determine, whether you guys are okay with the whole design in its entirety. I'm sure if you wanted the windows changed, that could be something they may be interested in doing as well.
Can I make a comment, reading directly from the master plan? The vertical window design is a subtle pattern that adds continuity and rhythm to the neighborhood. This pattern should be maintained, and horizontal and sliding windows should be discouraged.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Should is not shall. My rebuttal.
If I may jump in here, thank you, Alex Bramlett, Planning Manager. I think that the main point is it is looking from Mount Vernon Street, so that's the main scape we're trying to preserve. It kind of goes similar to interior remodels of historic buildings. That's not in our realm. We're looking at that main street and applying it to that facade. So in terms of the horizontal siding, it is on the sides. We did not deem that to be out of compliance because it's not seen from the Mount Vernon streetscape. Thank you.
Rob?
Yeah, thank you, Rob Johnson. Just for my own edification, I guess, is there a square foot per property, structure versus land with the city?
There is a maximum lot coverage allowance until the permit comes in and we know exactly how big this is going to be. I did quick calculations, and the primary residence and the guest house will fall within the maximum lot coverage allowance for structures.
That's including the new additions?
That would be including the garage and workshop.
And workshop.
Yes.
That was one of the first things, well, one of several first things that we discussed to make sure that would be
Yeah,
compliant.
thank you.
It's very close. It's going to be within probably 50 to 100 feet of their maximum lot coverage allowance, so it is very close.
Any other questions? Somebody want to make a motion?
Diane Travis. I move to approve HP 25-009.
As written.
As written.
Mr. Chairman, I second that motion and would like to explain my voting. All right. Excuse me. Again, I restate, it's a street view escape that we're trying to protect. The city supports that. There's flexibility within the guidelines to provide for that. My colleague says it should. It's still, if it's a should, it's not a shall. I've got the ordinance in front of me, but you have a different reference. It's non-conforming already. The windows are not seen from the adjacent properties or the streetscape. And so I find that the proposal as presented is in full compliance, and I will support what's been said is with no adjustments.
Jim?
Jim McCover, I just see this as a philosophical issue. You know, you're right. He can't be seen unless you're really looking real close. You probably could, but the spirit of the guidelines are to maintain historical integrity, and obviously that hasn't been done on all the buildings. But I feel that we need to stick by the guidelines.
Any further comment? We'll take a vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Oppose? Motion carries 5-1.
Thank you, and Alex has some staff updates for you.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry. Okay. So we spoke about it at the beginning, but the applications to reapply, we sent you all whose terms are expiring. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help through that process, and just let us know. The other thing I wanted to bring up, you all had asked the last meeting or the meeting prior about the update for the 402 and 410 East Goodwin, the Chris Todd property. So I just wanted to provide that update. If I can get my photos here. So we had spoken last about the existing front fence. This was kind of the last historic preservation component. Let me get one more picture over here. They have added the wood siding as was requested. They've removed the CMU caps, so that's all been completed. They did come back and ask about this brick cap, and it felt so minor. I didn't want to do a full PPC review again, so I thought maybe I'd just try and present it here right now. As it is currently, the siding is there. The caps, the CMU caps are gone, so they're good to go. They're further just inquiring about having brick caps. So I wanted to just throw it out here for today, maybe have a possible discussion, see how you all feel. I can certainly have them come back through PPC, but like I said, with it just being brick caps, I thought maybe we could just talk about it. So there's this image, and this is kind of just another, you can see the siding, and so just to gauge kind of thoughts for this, and potential feedback would be appreciated and helpful.
Yeah, Rob Johnson. So what was existing there was just a flat cap, if I remember, just a concrete
It's like
kind of flat cap.
Yep, a CMU cap that the last meeting when we discussed this was to remove those, so those are all gone at this time.
Yeah, I noticed he's got them stacked up over there. So
Yeah.
and I didn't see that brick. I just live around the corner from there, so it's, I walk by it quite often, but.
I don't think he's installed the brick. He just put them here as a sample to give a visual of what he was looking to do.
Not having looked at the ordinance for that, is that acceptable as far as you know?
I mean, brick generally is an okay material. In terms of the fencing, there's, it's not specific to brick on fencing as a cap, but material-wise, brick is an acceptable material.
I don't recall any place else in the city that has a brick cap.
Offhand, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't,
I don't know either.
I'm not a fan of it, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that comment. And there's no other brick on that property at all. That's the only brick that is physically on those 2 units.
Yes. Well, I can certainly take this feedback and just let them know. And if it's something they want to pursue, we can look at a little bit more process around that. But just wanted to provide you an update. Otherwise, they're good to go. So there's that.
Michael?
Well, I've heard some dialogue here. Is there a substitute material? That would be something to think about. Would it be a wooden? Would it be what other things? Ceramic. That's the same as a brick, actually. It's less trying to offer some suggestions about what might be acceptable.
I appreciate that.
I know in my neighborhood, it's a national register, not a city register. There's a lot of concrete caps.
So Rob Johnson again, what was existing on there, I'm trying to remember back why we denied that. Because it actually would look better than the brick. It would blend more. I mean, what he had there existing, unless it was an overhanging, piece of concrete per se, and maybe if it was flush with the column. If I remember correctly, our issue was with it just needed to look like a capped column, not capped, but a flush.
Okay.
Not to extend beyond the edges of the diameter of the column itself.
Okay. Well, we can certainly take this back and look further and provide some options for them moving forward.
You're not aware of any requirements from the city for these kind of caps?
No, I mean, like for city code, no, we don't. We don't. No. It would just be the master plan. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, just from a staff update, we don't have a PPC scheduled for February. We don't have applications in at this time, so we'll keep you posted on March. And in the meantime, again, just for that reapplication, it is live, so feel free to do that. Again, we're here for questions if you need anything, and I think that's all we have.
Mr. Chairman, might I ask a question, please? There's been, a change in leadership with our city, and I was just trying to figure out if you know, who would be on the council that would be kind of the liaison to our historical commission. You know who that is?
Offhand, I don't know. Mary Frederickson? And anyone else? No, the committee reviewing and approving who's on the BCCs. Is that what you're referring to?
No, the mayor has. Well, the street talk is the mayor has designated council people to be liaison to the various commissions and boards.
Jake is correct.
Who is that for us? That's all.
Mary Frederickson.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I don't know about that committee that's going to accept, go through the committee, the board, vacant board positions. I don't know who that is, and I'm not asking for that.
Thank you.
One more quick little thing is I happened to be downtown doing some chamber business, and I walked over to the Docks Barbecue. Remember, we just dealt with that. They pulled the planters out, which looks pretty good. They're going to extend the railing fence from where the smoker is to the corner and have a little flat spot on the top for your drink, he called it. But I think what we approved is going to look good.
I agree with that. I actually met with the general manager of that, both that and the Fat Frog, on another reason, a car show that we're going to put on next year. But anyway, and I told him thank you for doing that because it completely changed that whole look down that street for the better. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And you saw the pictures of the old, instead of the brick, looks like a 1x1 or foot concrete? Or a flagstone? I can't tell. And I gave Alex a copy of it there also. All right, any other comments?
Thank you, Mr.